Yet I have to see how. Hey, everybody, recruiting animal here. Yeah, we're recording. We're always talking now before the show starts, right? So it's confusing, but we're here today. The Recruiting Animal Show is going to start. It's the 14th of April, 2021. I've got Ernie. I got Ernie in present. I've been promising it for I don't know how long, but he is now. If you want to go to his LinkedIn profile, it's foodindustryrecruiter.com. And Michael G. Cox is the salesrecruiter.com.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're ready to go. Okay, so I did some. We had two guests. They canceled. I think they'll come back. Okay, but you know what? I want to bitch about something at the beginning. I don't. You guys tell me if I should just stop. I've got a Facebook group on it's for recruiters to
On
discuss
Facebook?
stuff.
Critters
Yeah.
Online.
Michael G. Cox likes Herc better. He goes there because he's a trainer.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So recruitingtricks.com will take you to my group. I got people bitching about my postings every single day. What I don't understand is why don't they just leave? Okay. Why don't they just leave? They can read Michael G. Cox on these other, it's like a half a dozen other groups that do the exact same thing. I mean, why do they come back and pester me every day? I understand why
They prefer
Jerry
to
does.
bug you.
Okay, yeah, I have a certain tabloid style. They don't like that. Okay, they're New York Times, not the New York Post. So go somewhere else. Stop bugging me. Okay. Okay. Hey, okay, here we'll start off with some heavy duty stuff. Someone asked for a suggestion for an email sign off. And I thought some of them suggested were good. Okay. And DSP, who's going to be a guest soon, and he's, I guess, the leader of Herc, Michael G. Cox's favorite group. Yes. his suggestion that he himself claims he uses was Peace and Cub Scout. Does that anybody like that?
Peace and Cub
A
Scouts?
sign out like, hey, thanks and talk soon or whatever.
Yeah, some
that you would
people
use
like
on
the
email.
normal stuff, but okay. Stephen O'Donnell suggested and I like this one. I remain your dutiful and humble servant. I like that. Right? Anybody?
That's terrible.
Happy trails to you.
Well, what do you put in yours, Ernie? Before you say
I just put talk to you soon.
what's wrong with
Talk
Happy
soon.
Trails? Why don't you
I like Happy Trails. It's good.
Happy trails.
You know what? I might not be, if you start singing, I might not be able to post this on Facebook. Okay? Their software, it recognizes the tiniest bit of music and says, no, you
Really?
owe money to Sony. You can't post. What about this? Caveat emptor. I like that. Do you guys know what it means?
No.
Buyer beware. Okay. Caveat emptor. I love it. Okay.
As
Carpe
a
diem.
sign off on email?
Yeah. It's transparent, okay? It's warning people. Okay. What about this one? Definition of a scumbag recruiter. Someone finally defined it. Anybody? Okay. How about this?
No.
Okay.
You want us to come up with a definition, or that's a sign off?
No. Oh, yeah. Your
And then your
friendly,
name underneath.
your friendly neighborhood scumbag recruiter. Maybe I should have got you that URL, Ernie.
Ooh.
That would have been close. That would have been
Check out
close.
GoDaddy right now.
Or maybe I'll get that for myself. Yeah. Okay. Here's what it is. A scumbag recruiter is you don't care if the candidates succeed. You just want to get them hired. I thought that was pretty good. Anybody? No? Okay. You guys don't like what I like. Okay. You got something to say?
No. Go right ahead. I'm in shock.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. I just got a lot of short ones to start off with. Okay. This guy complained 2 recruiters from the same agency sent him the same job within a minute of each other, and he says, "Nice work, bozos." It shows that it's a
Why?
good office. What do you guys think? It means that they're working.
Oh, they're same 2 recruiters from the same agency.
Agency, yeah.
So
It happens.
But is
Yeah,
it bad? Is it bad or good?
no, it's neither. It's neither bad nor good. It's certainly not good. But why would it be seen as bad if you've got a team, you guys get together and say, look, we've got this opportunity. This is it. Go. And then people go and they work their networks and you happen to be connected with more than one recruiter, imagine.
Yeah,
Deal
I
with it,
guess I
dude.
can see from their side, they think first thing they think is these guys are so dumb, they're stumbling over each other. It's a sign to this guy of incompetence. But to me, it means, just like you said,
They're working.
go. And these guys are really eager to do it. I mean, they're action oriented. Okay, you stupid candidate. You don't realize it. I understand you're on the outside. You don't understand. It takes a little thought. Okay.
And the candidates sometimes they're kind of weird anyway. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're weird, and they come up with weird stuff. And they look to poke holes because maybe they're getting saturated with emails from.
Okay. Do you have any proof from personal stories about weird candidates, food industry recruiter?
I don't deal with weird candidates. We're in the food industry.
Okay. Okay.
That's it.
Yeah,
The engineer.
they're all stable geniuses.
Yeah. Okay. Here's another one. Okay. This is a goes both ways. This is about persistence. I always ask about it. Okay. This woman said, I didn't want to do another contract, but a recruiter called me and left a voicemail and then followed up immediately with a text and an in-mail. Okay. And here I am on another contract. So the person banged her 3 times. She didn't mind. Obviously, he persuaded her.
Maybe a better choice of words would be better. I'm just saying.
Reached
Better
out.
than what? Better than what?
The person banged her 3 times.
Hey, I didn't even think about it. Okay. You know what? Don't make me censor the show. Okay. I don't think in those terms. Okay.
I'm being the censor.
He knocked on her door, is what I meant. And this is the Rich Rosen technique. He emails you at night and calls you in the morning. And then he calls you
That's
and
brilliant.
calls you and calls you. He doesn't let up. Okay. And David Perry, super recruiter, he'll call you 80 times till you pick up the phone. And okay, so that's what this recruiter did. But I can see some other candidate having the exact same experience and saying this recruiter is the scumbag. He bugged me 3 times. It wasn't, I didn't reply once, so he tried 2 more times. What do you guys say? Is he a good recruiter or a bad recruiter?
He's a good recruiter.
So,
I think you got to do what you
yeah.
got to do and to get a hold of him. And a lot of times it may not be the right time for them to pick up the phone or whatever. But the important thing is that you text them. But we got into the habit of texting people and just saying, "I'll talk to you later." Hey, as always, Ernie. And one of our people said, "Hey, you know what? I got back to you because I couldn't figure out who Ernie was, and I really wanted. I kept banging my head as to who that was, and sure enough, it's you. But I'd never met you before. So you kind of end it on a happy note.
I don't know what you're talking about, Ernie, but first,
when you use it,
wait. Wait a second. Look at me. Is this resting bitch face? Sorry, I can't.
I got my thumb over your face there.
I can't hold it now. Okay.
There you go, right there.
Okay.
But, no. Sometimes,
No, Ernie, what are you talking about?
When you're reaching out to candidates, you ask, is it a good idea to reach out to them 3, 4, 6, 9 times?
Yeah.
And it's always good. But the important thing is the text. The email they may read to text them. Yes.
Okay. And on even if it's somebody, is that somebody you already know, or is it somebody cold?
Cold.
How'd you get their phone number?
I'm a recruiter. You get their phone numbers. Okay. You go through 2 people search. You go through everything you can get a hold of. Okay. You know.
Do you have to answer that call? Because I have I got a follow-up question. I'll ask Michael G. Cox if you're busy. Okay. Here's this guy. I've got the quote here, but I won't. But he said, this recruiter found his personal phone number and called him not to recruit him, to see if he wanted to do business, for business development, right? And he said, you call HR like everybody else, fuckface. I mean, he was real mad. He used fuck a number of times, not just at the very end. So is that wrong to call somebody's personal number or text them at a personal number for business development as opposed to recruiting? Anybody?
No.
Well, why not?
No, that's not
justify what you say. I don't just take a no. Well, why not?
Because, dude, okay, so I'm in the sales world, so it's kind of bass backwards if you say something like, Don't ever call me again. I'm a VP of sales. I don't take cold calls. And I think, well, what are you telling your people to do to generate new opportunities? Are you telling them to just sit there and wait for business to knock on the door? It's like I still don't have any clients that are just screaming at me to take their money. So it's got to start. And to cold call is just one of those ways of doing business.
Okay, the problem, you missed it, Michael G. Cox, although I love what you
Okay,
said.
go ahead.
The thing is, he said, look, this is a business call, and you're using my personal phone. Okay, that's why he's so insulted. Is that to me, I'm impressed. The guy got the number. The recruiter found the number somehow, just like Ernie does. So is that good? Is that a sign of a good recruiter or a bad recruiter? Is it rude, Michael G. Cox?
No, dude, it's not. I don't know if I'd say it's either good or bad, because okay, it's
I love
not
these
bad.
guys who are straightforward. It's not here, not there. Go ahead.
It's not bad, because that's the number that they found on you. Deal with it. Most desk phones, by the way, these days, most desk phones are forwarded to their mobile phone anyway.
And it all depends on the approach. And the approach is, if you're going to go after job orders and what have you, business development, the big shots, the ones that really make a lot of money, say you always go with asking them about some need for themselves. Once you get all that stuff out of the way, hey, you got anything? What about you? Are you looking? I saw your resume. I saw your background. And they'll say yes, no. And then you go into the business development.
You know what? I'm a bit uncomfortable with that, because, then they'll think you're just using them. You're pretending to have an interest in them as a person for their career. But the whole point comes at the end when you say, I want to do business. Give me business. That's the most important thing. You use the rest of the stuff. It sort of pulls the rug out from under it.
Well, not really if they're not looking, but a lot of times they have needs. And what you're doing is basically developing that relationship.
Okay. Are you talking about, is that theory, or have you done it?
No, I've done that. I've done that. I do it a lot.
See, Michael G. Cox has the opposite experience. He's told us a number of times. He calls for business, and I've had this too. Call for business, and they want you to find them a job, right? So they can do it. I know that, right? In fact, I have traveled out to meetings quite far because I thought the person was going to give me a great order. All they wanted me there for was to talk about their own career.
To be a candidate, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's done. It's just a matter. The trick is, how do you develop that relationship instead of someone calling you the F-bomb or throwing that at you? It means your approach was wrong, and you got to go back and figure it out.
Well, it looks to me like you could do, here's my point from everything I've discussed so far, I think, is that you could do the right thing, but it's right for one person and not right for another. And what's going to count is, hopefully it's right for more people than it isn't. These things are just like you said. I'll go the route of Michael G. Cox now. Yeah, sometimes it's right and sometimes it's wrong. It's both. It's not one. Okay.
Everything works. It's just that not everything works all the time.
And it's like when you reach out to people, say a candidate, you reach out to them. Some of them prefer phone, some of them prefer text, some of them prefer email.
Oh, that's one of Amy's big things. Yeah. Get behind me, Satan. Or not to her. No, hers is not today, Satan. They tell you, not today, Satan. But we're the bad guys. Either of you guys, do you have pet issues that you want to talk about? I mean, I've got my list of questions like usual, but anything you guys want to raise?
Who was supposed to be on today that didn't show up?
Ryan and Brian. Okay. I was on their show about a month or so ago, and they wanted to come on, but then Brian had something.
Who's that?
Brian Fink. He's a nice guy. He's been on the show 3 times already.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And he had something come up. I didn't ask what it was. And then once his Siamese twin, Ryan Leary, he said, I want to come on with him.
Nice.
I understand.
So Ryan Leary didn't come on his own?
No, they want to come on together. You know what? Some people are afraid to come on this show. I don't know why. Okay, but but they are.
It,
Anyway,
Feel
it,
the screaming.
but it can be nervous-ing to, you got that rep, brother. But after a while, you get on here, it's like,
look,
it's no
you
big
guys are
deal.
always against me on the guest side, okay? So they've got all kinds of allies, okay?
Yeah,
But so anyway, so Ryan and Brian, we'll see. I advised them when I was on their show. I said, you got to buy ryanbryan.com, right? Or brianandbrian.com. I bet you they didn't do it. They won't spend $25 on it, okay? Mark my words. When they're on, we're going to ask them. And your guru, DSP, has to come on, okay? And I'm going to take him. He also, okay, I'm just
my
fetching now.
godfather.
Okay, I'm just this is inside baseball, everybody. Sorry, but I will tell you that I watched the DSP. What's it called? Headhunters, Boring Boxers.
Yeah,
Neil,
headhunters and boxers
yeah,
talking smack.
Neil Lebovitz, and David Stephen Patterson. They had a good show last Friday. All kinds of marketing tools that I've never heard of, and I don't know if they would work for me or they're useful, but it's really exciting to hear about them. So if you see their last week's show from in the first week of April. Anyway, we're going nowhere because you guys have nothing you want to talk about. I have to supply everything. Okay. Hey, do you think you've changed over the years? Or that middle-aged recruiters are different than younger recruiters? It's a related question. Some people get meaner when they get older. I have no time for this bullshit. Yes or no? Come on, I'm not going to cater to you, Or sometimes people get more sympathetic. They understand, that people make mistakes, and they're more tolerant. Or do either of you have found that, let's say from 10 years ago, that you've got a different style? No, you can say no.
No. I think, you asked an interesting question, because I've been talking to some people about that wanted to become recruiters, that are thinking about it, and two kind of different types of experience.
Tell them to run.
One is the older one, so the guy that's 40.
Yep.
And then there's the 20-year-old. 20-year-olds,
that's a punk.
They're like,
okay, that's not
a
20-year-old. We call it. There's the older guy and there's the punk. Okay.
The punk guy. But it's interesting with the older ones. Something they're so set on security that something has to happen in their lives to make them decide, you know what, I want to go solo. I want to do recruiting. I'm willing to do it without the security of a weekly check. And as you do that, you talk to them, and it's because something has happened. They've gotten upset. They've gotten fired one too many times. They've gotten the boss from hell. They've gotten a new boss that they have to prove themselves over and over. But unless you have that one incident.
Okay, we got Michael G. Cox here as our good experiment. He's actually moved within the last year from having a boss, and that's why he left as well. He didn't like his new boss. They were not nice to him.
Yeah.
They were crazy. Okay, this guy's a great employee. I would hire him any day. Okay, and yet he was driven away from his company. So do you love not and during a hard time, right? Do you love not having a boss, Michael G. Cox? Is it wonderful?
Oh yeah, I mean, yes, definitely. But the insecurity that comes with that is it's all on you. You don't look to a boss that says, hey, work on these 5 things, and you work on those 5 things, and whether those 5 things be strategic or not, or actually going to lead to results, really doesn't matter when you're working for somebody else. And so the issue that is in that is, if I'm not working on the right things, I could be wasting.
Okay, there's 2 questions there. First of all, if you're working for somebody and this guy's an idiot, or her, that happens, okay? And that person says to you, oh, Michael, work on these 5 things, okay? And they're not the best 5 things to work on, and it doesn't work out for any reason, like you said, they're still going to blame it on you, even if it's their mistake, because you're the recruiter, okay? I think they'll still blame it on you. The other question is, which
but they may blame it on you, and it may not work, but you're still getting that check and full benefits.
Well, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe that's a reason for getting rid of you, because you're doing what they tell you, and they're stupid. The leader is an idiot. Here's the other question, though, that Ernie was raising. RecruiterAl.com is coming here. Hi, Recruiter Al. Okay. It sounded like Ernie's talking about people who've never been recruiters who want to start their own business, okay, on their own. Is that
Yeah.
possible where you don't have training? That's different from, just security. That's a different issue. Ernie, is that what you're talking about?
Well, yeah, in a way, it's how you train them, how they learn it, and it's
No, they
also
have no training. That's the guy. I don't know what this.
no, but you really you see it's if you got a sales background, if you got the so you'll have that. If you're in a certain industry, you have that training. Like if you're in food and maybe you're in marketing, you know a lot of marketing people, as opposed to someone coming in that has never been in marketing, has never been in a certain niche, and people don't realize what they know. I think people realize that they're just scared, and
Okay, what about the 20-year-old? Okay.
they don't know anything, and they're
Okay.
willing to learn. And
Okay.
those are the kind of people you could tell to run and get me a glass of water, and they're running to get you a glass of water.
Ben Nader, he's around 30, I think. He's not 20, but he started with no experience, right? You know Ben, six-figure recruiter?
Yes, he's famous.
Yeah, I'd say so. He started with no experience. He's learned it, but he has just a talent.
He's
Okay,
YouTube
he's got
famous.
a knack. He's got a knack. And there's another question. What about if people really resent recruiters who've been in the job for a year and they go on LinkedIn or somewhere and they start teaching? Okay, I think that some people are talented. Rich Rosen, after 6 months, he was beating everybody in his office, and he came from a sales background, Ernie, just like you said. He's a talented person. He was beating everybody. So why shouldn't him with 6 months be teaching me instead of the loser who's been there for 5 years? Okay, so is there a problem? And so Ben Nader's doing the same thing. Never been trained. He started his own business, and yet he's on there telling other people how to do it, and he's their guru. Okay. What about? Well, let's start with Al. Al, is that okay? You've been in the job for a year as a recruiter, and you start training other people.
If you're one of the rare people like Ben or Rich that have been successful, everybody, sure, why not? But on the other hand, most people need training, and most people are going to make all these mistakes that they never would have made, or they would have made them less if they went and got training, good training. There's so much lousy training out there that maybe, doing it on your own, but you're going to learn it through mistakes. And how many mistakes do you want to make? You want to have that contract first? You want to have a client, you lose money because they hired your contractor around you, converted them to perm, and you didn't have it in the agreement or whatever else. There's a million mistakes. I think in general, get training, get good training. And Rich, to his credit, Rich got good training at that place, and then he just took off with it. But I think if you want to put somebody up there that's been recruiting for a year and all of a sudden now they want to teach, isn't that like all the career coaches that are popping up left and right now?
Okay, I think a year's training is experience is good enough.
No, 10,000 hours.
Yeah, it's bullshit. Yeah, okay, we all know that. Anybody else want to comment on that before we move on?
Yes. So if you're really good at one tiny little thing, maybe you train on that one little thing, but I don't like the idea of somebody jumping on and becoming some sort of recruiting guru. The one thing that I like about Ben is he kind of puts it out there. That at least at the beginning, he's like, I don't know how it's working. This is what's working for me, and try this. So he wasn't, at least at the beginning, from what I recall watching a lot of his videos, he wasn't touting about being some sort of recruiter training guru.
Okay,
he's
fine.
just telling people how he was doing it.
I got your point. Ernie, do you have something you want to add? Or
I was going to say, it's like you look at the audience and you ask yourself, what's the need out there? And Ben is filling a need. If it's like an old-time recruiter, you kind of look at Ben and you say, you know what, there's a few things he's done that I've learned, that I'm learning again. He's able to relate to people, and he makes people feel comfortable, as opposed to somebody who goes out there and thinks they're God's gift to training.
Okay, so I'm the only one who's like totally enthusiastic. You guys are Alan's not really. He's a no. I'm a yes. He's a no. You guys are.
Well, let me put it to you this way.
No.
So you're repairing. You're a plumber. You can fix all kinds of plumbing up, down, and sideways in houses for 20 years, you're great. Now you want to become a realtor.
You can handle a pipe.
Yeah, you can handle it. Yeah.
Okay.
Now you think you can now you think you can sell houses and be as successful as the top people
in a year?
Not
if you're
just
talented.
as successful, but as knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm moving on. Okay. You know what? Let me do an ad first.
Can you do an advertise? Can you do a commercial, please?
Yeah. Honeit, HONEIT.com. Honeit is an online interview technology. You go to the website, your candidate calls into the website, you interview the candidate there. It records the interview in audio, just like this, video, just like this. But it gives you a transcription as well, a searchable transcription, which this doesn't, okay? And the other thing is, when you ask these key questions, you press a button before you get to that question. When you're finished that discussion, you press another button, creates a beautiful little clip that you could send to your stupid hiring manager or anybody else on the search committee. And it's encrypted, so no one else can see it, okay?
Can you send it to a good hiring manager?
HONEIT.com. Okay, let me see. Okay, this is a good question. Okay, this one bugs me. Okay,
I got a question.
What is it?
Okay, so here's the situation. It's a very high-level position. They have about 4 of them, where they had when they first came to me and said, recruit these sales executives for us. Base salary is like 150, 175.
Well, they targeted certain people. They told you these 4 people are the ones we're interested in.
No, they have 4 positions available, and they said, try focusing on these companies. So I pull some individuals from those companies that aren't actively looking. They're very successful, good candidates. I submit those individuals. Now, backstory, my contact is the chief revenue officer. He connects me with internal recruiting. I submit my information, my candidates, to the internal recruiter, their senior sales recruiter, whatever. And that senior recruiter turns back to me and says, these candidates are not of the caliber that would warrant us paying a fee. Thank you. Go find me some other candidates. Now, these candidates are highly qualified. At least I believe so. They're more qualified than many of their other individuals that are currently working there. Should I basically skip several links in the chain of command, go to the CRO and say, look, these are the candidates that I submitted to your recruiting division.
Yes, go back over their heads. They're stupid idiots. You believe it.
Go call your champion.
Okay, so what I'm getting is no, don't do that, because Animal just said yes. So don't do that. Got it.
Animal said yes, do that.
Yeah,
I know that, but that's why
everything I say is wrong.
Oh, you want to be the opposite.
That's his
heuristic.
Okay,
here. Michael G. Cox, get on the phone with the CRO now.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do it over the phone, because I don't want to send anything over to him.
You just told us, a guy with your expertise, you should have said to this recruiting manager or do you know who you're talking to? I got 15 years. Yeah, I got 15 years in sales with a company much bigger than yours, okay? And they were promoting me to a senior level when I decided to go on my own, okay? I know sales inside out. I know who's in your company, and you don't have this kind of quality there. You prove to me that they're not good enough. Don't just dismiss it. I've done a lot of work for you, okay?
She's not moving forward. So my plan is to call up the CRO and say, look, I'm not gonna continue searching for other individuals. These are highly qualified. If you agree with her, fine, I'm out. But I think this is the caliber of individual that you need to be speaking with to grow your team properly. So speak to these individuals. Yes, I move forward, but I can only work with you, because in speaking with you, I'm burning this relationship.
Who is the hiring manager?
So the hiring manager is like 2 levels down from the CRO.
So then what if you send the resumes to the hiring manager?
I don't have that guy's info. Or
Or
that,
you get it
that
from the
individual's
CRO?
info.
No, he shouldn't approach the hiring manager directly. He should get the CRO to talk to the hiring manager for him.
Yeah, and bring and ask how well do you know the CRO?
Fairly well, yeah.
Give me a first name.
No
All right.
names.
Okay, Bob.
Jupiter.
Bill.
Jupiter. I like Jupiter.
Bill.
Jupiter.
Jupiter. I need your coaching, and I need to partner with you on this. Here's the issue. I'm listening to you. I've gone out, and this is what I found, and I think it's what you asked for. Here's the challenge I'm running into. I'd like to keep that person. I'd like to keep the TA person in the loop, but I want to get you what you need. So how can we do this? So by saying that, I want to partner with you. I listen to you. I'm on your side. I'm doing what you asked me to do. Now we're running into a problem. I want you to help me solve it. You can go at it and say, look, I don't want if you agree with Bobby Jean, fine, I'm out. But this gives him the opportunity to go, oh, well, Michael's listening to me. He listened to me. Oh, yes, I'm impressed with that. He got me what I needed. And now what do you mean? Who's telling me?
Michael is also who's going to make this guy have a conflict inside his own.
I like the way
No.
I like the way he changed his voice.
Give Ernie a chance. Give Ernie a chance.
That's
I like the way he
I
changed his voice, and Alan went into that different.
He's a good actor. He's a performer.
Yeah, it was great.
It was excellent.
No, but I mean, I've lived
Bravo,
with this myself.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me ask a question. When you say, I know that these people are good for this job, do you have any actual concrete proof that you could say, look, here's 5 reasons right away why I believe this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah. So what I've got their major accomplishments as in list of accounts, size of deals, amount of revenue that they've brought in over the past, let's say, at least in 2020 and 2019.
And did you feed that to the recruiting manager or the recruiter you spoke to? And did she give you any concrete reasons back why did she have a checklist to say this is why they don't measure up?
The response that I got back was she felt that she could recruit these individuals herself.
Okay, that's your mistake then. You got the job from somebody who's outside of her domain.
So
no, she's a threat.
So then the question becomes for you, Michael, is how would you approach it differently now that you know this the way it played out? How would you approach it if you were just starting over again?
So I didn't know that she was going to do this to me, but knowing now, I would go directly to the CRO and say, look, we have to figure out a different way for me to feed you these candidates. Because if you and I agree that this is the caliber of candidate that you need from these organizations that you want to pull from, then I need to have a different way to submit these individuals to you. Or, I mean, it's going to create a conflict internally and definitely with me externally if I go through recruiting.
Well, what about from the start? This is a quickie. What about, though, from the start, if you would have said, hey, Miss CRO, I can't get involved in this without, you introducing me to the recruiting people internally and making sure that they're on side before you bring in an outsider. Because, Amy, I posted something. Yeah? Go ahead.
Did.
And did they think, but they're obviously saying that they don't need you. It's like, what did she say? It's like, would you go out with a married person?
What I've been advised is they can recruit these people on their own. They'd rather have me go and find individuals that are so overqualified that they can't even touch them. But then they can't afford those individuals.
Anybody else?
Threatened. The recruiter's threatened. That's all. It's plain and simple. If the CRO is willing to pay the fee, the inside person feels that they're going to be considered a failure by not being able to do it. And he can't say this, but the quick and dirty is if she said, well, I could, these are people I could recruit. Well, fine. Why haven't you?
Let's take bets on how this works out. I say it doesn't work out. Okay. And Ernie, yes or no? Do you think it's going to work out for him? It looks awful to me. It looks bad.
I would say the way it's laid out now, no. But there are things, there are things you can, the question is, how do you save it? Okay.
Yeah.
How do you save it? How do you get, I would go to the CRO and say, can I talk to the hiring manager? And I'd present these to the hiring manager because that's the guy that's going to make the decision.
Yeah.
And he or she can talk to that recruiter and say, I want to talk to these people and I'm going to talk to them.
My thought is
It may be your last job.
My thought is, I go to the CRO, and she says, I like these candidates. Okay, so now I've got that person on high vouching, sending those candidates down to hiring manager and saying, I like these individuals, put them through the process.
But
I know.
And then you've got two senior people on your side against the recruiter, right?
And I'm burning the relationship with the recruiter,
right?
Which, I mean, frankly, what I'm doing at this point also is I've got to go speak to other competitors to my client, and pitch these candidates, because I've got a great product and I need to find a home for them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now that I've got them interested in making a move.
Well, the other thing you could do, depending upon your relationship with the CRO, is, because look, I deal with this as an internal. So they all come through me. I deal with them. I'm professional. But here's the thing: is I would ask your CRO, look, exactly what you said up front, and say, look, how do you think we should approach this? Because, should we keep Bobby? Should we keep the recruiter in the loop? I mean, are they doing good? Are they, they're already calling you. The CRO's calling you. So in somebody's eyes, there's so many people in the world. The internal person can't reach everybody. So how is there a chance to not save that TA relationship, but have a pleasant friction?
Bobby Jean's out. Forget about Bobby Jean. Okay?
No, look, I'm just telling you, there's ways.
Alan is Bobby Jean in this scenario because he's a recruiter. So let me ask you this, Alan. Do you have your favorite external recruiters that you deal with?
He's the trans Bobby Jean. Okay, sorry.
But here's the thing: is when I get called or reached out to, I'm very transparent. I say, look, we use 2 boutique local firms because it's such a network.
You're going off on a tangent. No.
But wait, no. You use 2 boutique firms,
and I say
those are your favorite, right?
Those are our favorites. We will always entertain another one.
No. I'm not saying we. I'm saying you, because you're the guy.
We, us, my company. Yes.
But is it your decision to decide who to use?
I have say in it. If somebody says use this company, every time they've said I want you to use company X, it's fallen apart.
Well, that's what happened here. Okay.
No. And it wasn't that. It was that I've been on both sides. I know how it works, and it's fine. I don't have a problem with it.
I'm ready to move on.
That's what I'm getting at. Is you have your 2 favorite recruiters that do what you want them to do. They give you the delivery that you want. Michael is that 3rd recruiter.
Right.
And so
they got pushed down from the CRO.
If you want to get into this company, you got to figure out how to get with the Allens of the world.
He just wants to make this placement and get away from them. That's what I
see. He wants to placement plus everything else.
Okay, I'm moving on.
I want to make 4
Moving
placements.
on. Thank you, Michael G. Cox. Very interesting. You got yourself in a pickle, and it's partly.
Anybody say thumbs up? So I got Animal and Ernie saying no, it's not going to work.
I would say I'm in that. If we're on a 50,
down.
If this is a 50-50 proposition, I would take the over and think there's a slightly better chance that you can save it, but it'll be a slog.
One thing though, if you want me to call them for you, I'm willing to do it. And
no, Michael G. Cox. I was about to say, Animal's got a great new business line here. It's to the CRO or the TA person, have him call and go, yeah, this is the Animal. What the hell is your problem?
Yeah.
I heard that you're giving Michael G. Cox.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Michael, get him on the phone now. Let's do it live.
Oh yeah.
I don't think that's wise. Okay, but let's move on.
No, get the CRO. No, get the CRO on the line
on the show. Okay, yeah. Okay. Now we got to ask Rich.
Oh no, that comes trouble. That comes trouble.
Okay, Rich. We're going to move on from this. Let me just summarize.
Hold on, no. Alan didn't give me a positive, a firm up or down.
He's
What's it going to be, dude?
He's an up. He's up.
What are we voting on?
So,
what are we voting on?
Okay.
Let me put it to you, Rich. I want to move on already, but since you're here, Michael G. Cox had a chief revenue officer, CRO, from a company give him an order and gave for a senior role, and also gave him a bunch of companies where he wanted him to go fishing. Okay, so Michael G. Cox went there, brought in a few companies. Only at that point, apparently, did he get involved with the internal recruiter, and she says, "Look, I can recruit these people myself. We want you to get some other people that we can't get." And he's saying, "Yeah, those other people are way too expensive for your company." So he wants to know, what should he do? The internal recruiter's rejecting him when he, in fact, did exactly what the client ordered. And so he can either go back to the CRO, his client, and get her to go to the hiring manager, whom he has no contact with yet already. Do you have a quickie answer? I want to move on.
One thing important, the CRO is not the hiring manager.
No, the hiring manager is somebody else.
always the
hiring manager is 2 levels down. Should I take my candidates that I believe in, submit them to the CRO, skip the whole HR recruiter thing, which obviously I'm going to burn that relationship if I do this.
Yeah, everybody understands. Look, the people, we got an audience, Michael G. Cox. It's not just your
really
consulting.
Now do you have an audience? Find the damn site.
Okay, Rich Rosen. Rosen.
If it was me, I would send a candidate into the CRO and say, "Listen, you got to fight this battle. You told me to go do it. I did it. And, let's work together and get the right person in the, for the job in the seat." That's what I would do.
And what might the CRO say? Well, I don't want to fight with the internal recruiter, or what?
They may say that, but then you have no leverage period. So
you've got to start recruiting people from that company to get even with them. Okay, that's the next step.
You're a client or you're a source.
You're not a client.
That's true.
Make you a source.
They wasted his time. Okay, he's working for nothing. Yeah. Okay, let me move on. Okay, this is a big deal. I keep running into it. You guys can tell me I'm foolish. I don't understand it. Okay, there are these big shots, not just ordinary recruiters. They're saying experience sucks. Science shows that candidates who have more experience do not perform better than those with less experience. Okay, and they also say education sucks as well. Years of education only contribute 1% to job performance variance. Okay, so how are you supposed to judge people if it's not by experience and it's not by degree? They're always saying, "Oh, degree is just a lazy way to filter out the people." Does anybody want to come in on that? I think experience is important and education is important. They're both important.
You ever notice the people that say education is not important have no education? They don't have a degree.
Well, see, I can see not having the education. I think college is very much it's the most unnecessary necessity we'll ever have. But the experience thing, how do you pass on experience? That's crazy.
I'd say character, attributes, and abilities trump everything.
Agreed.
I would rather have.
Where do you get those abilities?
Whoa, okay, that's a great question, Michael G. Cox. I'm glad you asked that on the Animal Show. So I had a really interesting conversation with a very senior person at Intel a couple of weeks ago, and they're starting to look at what they're calling the whole person recruiting, which I think is interesting because I've seen it at my company. So what we're interested in is, well, hold on. What does thumbs down?
I hate all this huggy stuff. Oh,
no. Listen to me. Shut the hell up.
Bullshit.
That's better. Mike likes the tough.
Yeah. No. It's not touchy-feely. It's tell me, you want to learn about how the person came up and grew up. Look, I would rather have somebody that went through a junior college, transferred to a 4-year, had to pay their own way, and had to struggle and had a B average, rather than have somebody that got a full ride paid for by the family and came out and doesn't know jack.
Mm-hmm.
Still doesn't matter.
For your brain
both of those scenarios, yeah. Both of those scenarios still don't tell me if this guy can sell.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you. There is a certain amount of skill at competency within a given role.
Where does that come from?
No, look, in sales, it's experience. I'm not dissing experience.
In waitressing and doing that, waiting tables, it comes from experience.
Yes. But what I'm saying is
there are levels of quality of service and capability that you get from waiting tables a little bit longer, a little bit more.
Right.
And I would sooner for my restaurant hire somebody that has at least 2 years experience of waiting tables. So it still comes down to experience.
But if that person, before they were waiting tables, was at a high-end retail establishment, then they learned how to give good service.
Okay, let me ask a question. It's occurred to me. This
not
is
as good as the 2-year person that I've got right over here.
Okay, this is a lot like the other question we were discussing about
experience
being a trainer.
Trumps everything, dude.
Being a trainer after 1 year. I think these people who say education is not important, experience is not important, what they really mean is somebody with 2 years experience can be a lot better with 5 years than someone with 5 years experience if they're talented. And Rich, you weren't here, but I always use you as one of my examples. After 6 months, mind you, had training from another industry, but after 6 months in your office, you were doing better than anybody else there. Okay, so sometimes junior people are talented, even with waitressing. Michael G. Cox, some people are going to be better waitresses than others. Okay,
there are many organizations or people that say experience and education doesn't matter. Either they have a bunk theory or they have a product that they're trying to sell you that can assess people properly.
But how can you judge the person if you can't do it by 5 years experience?
Exactly.
How can you find out if they have talent?
It depends on the experience.
I like Rich's comment.
It depends on the job too. I mean, it depends on what the role is. I mean, there's certain, like for sales, there's certain people just have an affinity for it, and you can tell they have the intangibles. What Michael said, if they've struggled, they've had these, there could be first generation Americans, it could be whatever, but they've had to fight their way to get to where they were. They've got the hustle and tenacity. Those are great skills, and you can't teach them.
How can you detect when they have those, though, if you can't see years of experience? How do you determine they've got that?
It's by just talking to them and just saying, hey, what was your life? How was your life? What did you do? Like, how did you get through this struggle?
No, you know what, Rich? I remember from our other shows when Thomas Shimuro Premiasic was on. He's the expert who says personality assessment is everything. And you don't believe in those personality assessment tests. And what you're saying, though, is that's what counts.
No. That's a test. That's not real.
That's a test, right? Yeah. That's a moment in time.
Yeah. But I think if you have, if you talk to I have a candidate, this guy went through these ridiculous struggles to get through college and to become a very successful, VP of alliances and channels. This guy I thought was fantastic. I mean, and the clients thought he was fantastic too, thankfully. But he, some companies.
How could you see that on a resume? How could you see that before?
You can't.
You actually have to interview someone. You have to screen them.
Yeah, but why would you even bring them in for an interview if you can't tell from the resume that they've got that grit that you're after?
Because if they have the grit, they're going to fight their way in. They're going to follow up their phone calls.
We call that a scumbag candidate. Ernie, did you want to say something?
No, I was going to say, hey, Rich, in the example you're giving, does this guy have a college degree or no college degree?
That guy, he eventually got a college degree. He did not have one when he first got a job. He, basically did night school to get his master's eventually even.
Okay, so this is where the recruiter comes in. A machine could not look at this guy's resume and say, maybe there's something here. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Okay. Well, we solved that problem.
Rich is going to submit unexperienced individuals and say, but he's a go-getter.
Trust me, he's an A player.
I want to know when Michael Cox turned into Bad Luck Schleprock this morning.
I know. Someone,
I'm just waiting for him to go wowsy, woo, woo.
Yeah.
He is in a different kind of mood today, I have to admit. You're right about that. Okay.
Experience of reading people. Ooh.
Okay. Here's another one, similar to the pestering one. I don't know if I asked this before here, but this candidate was complaining that a sourcer couldn't find her contact information, but she found somebody who was likely a relative, called that person, and got the contact information that way. I consider that I would hire a person who does that.
Yeah.
She thought it was outrageous. You're contacting my family who has nothing to do with me.
Ooh, true story.
Alan.
True story. 6 months ago, I was trying to find a guy named Rich Rosen. I found him on LinkedIn, but he had no information. I found him on Facebook. I found his family. I tried calling them, couldn't reach anybody. I found his home address. I wrote him a card, and I said, congratulations, you're the first person in a year I've not been able to find a phone number for, and I didn't want to make you uncomfortable by calling you at the office. I'd love to get to know you a little bit. 3 days later, he calls me.
That's great.
You should have done a home visit.
I wasn't going to make the drive for where he lived.
Yeah. Okay.
Or like Rich did, call the cops.
I'd rather call his cousin or his ex-brother-in-law and get the information that way, and then phone him up. And if he has a hissy fit because of that, well,
exactly,
he's not the person for me.
Well, but remember, he didn't have the hissy fit. His relative did, so his relative might be a whack job. We don't know about the candidate.
I can't remember. Maybe they both did. Okay. Okay. Let me see. Anybody else? Mitch Sullivan, a professional, professional sourpuss. Okay. He said he always prefers when he's dealing with an agency to deal with a boutique agency. The small agency has better people than the big company.
Well, you have bigger people working on your opportunities versus some JV kid who just graduated university 6 months ago and has been put on the big IBM account.
Yeah, but those big guys have to work on stuff they know they can fill if they have any brains. You can't boutique firm and just work on everything.
Right.
You know, so it's a much smarter move. You
also have a little bit more flexibility of living and dying by the numbers in a smaller agency, where at an MRI or CyberCode or whatever, it's all about, well, how many calls did you make? How many? And that's important. But if Rich or Michael or Ernie can put in a little more time, give a little more service, etc., hey, they get it.
Ernie, do you have a comment on that one? I have.
I'm just saying, there's just three. You got three small boutique guys here making that argument. Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Okay, yeah, I don't think that's you could get junior know nothings at a small firm or a big firm, but maybe a big firm has more of them, so you're more likely to get them.
Well, you go like a Heidrick and Struggles. I mean, all the guys that work on most of these searches are their newbies.
Yeah.
You know, it's the senior guys aren't working on them.
No, they're finders, minders, and grinders at Heidrick and at Korn.
Yeah.
What? Finders.
So you've got finders, minders, and grinders. So the finders are the executives.
Oh yeah, they make the money. The finders who don't know anything about recruiting. Okay.
No. They're because they're the ones going out and shooting golf with the clients at GM and IBM.
Well, they're the partners, man. That's what they're paid to do.
No, that's right. How they become partners. That's how they become partners.
The minders are kind of the TA people, and the grinders are all the newbies that are doing the sourcing because, I'm calling you from Heidrick and Struggles.
Mm-hmm. No, those are the people who know how to recruit. No.
Bullshit! I'm sorry. I used to beat them regularly, so what was that?
Okay. We got last question. The value of InMail, okay? I like quoting the same people again and again, like Rich or Amy. Amy says she sent one InMail.
There is no value in InMail.
The last resort.
One in the last 5 years, okay? She said recruiters, marketers, or salespeople like InMail, tech people like email. So you guys are agreeing with her? InMail sucks?
Last resort. Yeah.
Yeah, but Animal, I have a question for you and anybody here.
No, Ernie's disagreeing.
I use InMail and it works.
If it works, it works. It works.
You know, that's why I'm saying that each individual is either an InMail person,
it depends on your niche.
Person that you'll call or somebody, but you got to figure out what they are.
I mean, I got a buddy. He spends thousands of dollars. He buys double seats of recruiter for his team just for the extra InMails, and that's what they live on.
But if Ernie's placing manufacturing people at CPG companies, InMail's not going to do him any good. He needs cell phone numbers.
Well, I go with calling first of all.
Yeah.
I'm a caller.
Yeah.
And then I'll email him and then I'll send him a text say check your email.
Okay. You know what?
I got a question.
Yeah.
Really quick, really fast. Who can I call? Because I do need to have a LinkedIn question answered about accounts because one of my people might get one, a recruiter light. I just need to talk to somebody who's got the expertise so I can just answer the questions for them.
But don't get a recruiter light, just get a CSE.
Well, I've got no. I know, but that's me. This isn't a recruiter. It's an HR person. So they have recruiter light,
like LinkedIn or something.
Yeah, I know.
Anybody got an opinion? No, you can talk about it here if someone's got something to tell you.
If they're not paying, they don't care.
Yeah.
So get them the Recruiter Lite.
If you're paying, they don't care.
No, apparently they're getting rid of Recruiter
No, I'm
Lite.
saying when people in the corporate, they'll get it paid for. It's like no big deal. Just sign it off.
No.
We're I got to pay for it, then I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, no, we're a cheap company. I've got full-blown Recruiter, and somebody else in another state has Recruiter Lite. I don't use, like they said, I use it because it's the big dog. But I just wanted to see what the old Lite versus, I guess there's a new Lite coming out or a new version of it. I just want to see what the differences are.
Well, I think people talk about using Sales Navigator instead of Recruiter Lite. That's a better deal.
If you've got a good enough network, it's all about building up your connections.
Yeah.
And then you really don't even need Lite or Recruiter if you have a big enough, connection pool. And, I ended up having Navigator, which I never use, but it got me a couple of messages. Like, honestly, I've since canceled it, but it's just build up your connections. You spend time doing that, you'll be fine. Personally, but
do you have
any? I agree. Do
you have any LinkedIn?
I just did the free version at this point.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. And
you don't need it.
You use the free?
Me, yeah.
Oh wow, isn't that interesting?
Yeah. I mean, I've got like 30,000 connections, first level.
Okay, after all these years. Okay, well, that's good context.
Let me bring up one other thing. I created a group, and the group I created in 2008, just out of stupidity. I'm going to create a group. It's now up to going to be 19,000 people in this.
All
group.
In your industry, the food industry?
Yeah.
Okay, well there you go. He's got a special, Okay, so, and you in-mail the group members. Is that it?
Damn, son.
I don't do anything with it. I just look, find people, but but it's not. What do you do with a group?
You can post them.
Right now, nothing, because you can no longer message them.
Right. No, they took messaging away a long time ago.
Yeah. But if you post your stuff, post your group, post the job order, post the, content in there, the whole group gets the message.
Yeah. And I don't know if as an admin, Ernie, because, you can I don't know if you can still download your personal contacts in the CSV. I forget, but
I follow the Rich Rosen format in my LinkedIn, which is very nice. If you haven't seen that format, I advise everybody to follow that format.
You want to give it now? Is that the closer? Is that the closer for the show? The Rich Rosen for? Is that a joke?
I love it.
No, that is. You look at it. You looked at his LinkedIn, and you'll say, you know what? I got to change mine to the way he did it.
Oh, you mean his profile?
His profile, but the way he set it up tells you everything you need to know.
Okay, I'm going to go there to Rich Rosen. Let me give everybody their plug. Okay. The Sales Recruiter. See, I'm pointing to you guys, but you're going to be in a different place. Yeah, raise your hand. TheSalesRecruiter.com. Recruiter Al, raise your hand. Construction industry impresario, okay? Food industry recruiter, the guy with the long hair, and the famous big biller, sales, what a startup?
YourSalesRecruiter.com.
No, I got it's Cornerstone Search is my main one. I got VC Hire. I got a bunch of them.
Which one do you want to give out?
CornerstoneSearch.com.
Okay, and that's for you're a sales recruiter for high tech, right?
High tech software sales reps.
Okay. Richie Rich.
And recruitinganimal.com. Okay, everybody, we're gonna.
Rich and Michael, hit me up. I might have a place for you guys to find leads.
Awesome. All right, guys.
See you, everybody. Thanks. It was a good show. I liked it.
Awesome.